Did you just get a soundbar or a surround sound system and you just want it connected to the TV so you can enjoy it already? It's not as hard as you think, and I'm going to show you an easy way to just hook it all up, make it work. First, let's have a quick crash course in surround sound, just enough so that you understand what you're doing. Think of the TV as having a brain inside it. That brain takes the information from whatever movie you're watching and it needs to figure out what to do with the sound. The default option is to take that sound and send it to the speakers that are built into the TV. TV makers generally don't use very good quality speakers because anybody who actually cares about sound is going to use external speakers. Same logic of why nobody puts a performance exhaust on a Prius. They don't care. Another option would be what I consider kind of a top tier solution, where you have a head unit. So all the brain does is sends the same signal down an optical cable to the head unit. The head unit then uses its brain to take that same signal and send it to the different speakers. This particular system is a 5.1 Dolby setup. It has 5 speakers and a sub. There's the center channel speaker that goes right up in front and center, and it's basically for things like voices and dialogue. You also have a right and a left speaker, and those are what having those different effects coming out left to right with a lot of the primary sound coming out the center. Over here you can see a right rear speaker and a left rear speaker. Often these rear speakers are called the surround sound because they surround you. So you have the primary sound coming out of the center, you've got side effects from left and right front, and you have surround sound from left rear and right rear. You'll notice these are smaller speakers. They don't have the size to get a lot of deep sounds, the bass. So what systems do is have a subwoofer, and that's the other component for this speaker system you can see in the corner. That's where all your deeper sounds are going to come from, and it keeps the size of these speakers smaller. Now, if you just want things easy or you don't really care about quality of sound, you can use the speakers that come with the TV. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to go one level up from the TV speakers, something like a simple soundbar would be your next option. There's a lot of different levels of these in quality and cost. I think this one was only like $100 from the department store. It's going to be better sound quality. It's a little bit more spread out, but it's still contained right here, which means it's easy to connect. For this basic soundbar connection, all I've done is taken the digital audio out optical line and used an optical cable that goes from that point into the soundbar. There could be other connection styles like the RCA type jacks. I've chosen to use the optical just to make sure that the cable and the connection on both points, the soundbar and the TV, match. The only other connection is a simple power cord to the soundbar. So with those two connections, your soundbar is completely functional. Now, I've had that single soundbar in here for quite a while and it's been okay, but it doesn't have that same full theater sound that you get in the living room with the 5.1. So what I'm going to do is upgrade that single soundbar to this new system. This is a Polk Audio Kit. I actually have Polk Audio speakers in the living room system, so I'm familiar with the brand. I've had them in a car before. I know they're good products. What I was looking for is something that was easy to connect, that gave me a fuller sound, that didn't require the headaches of adding a head unit. The first question is, what's in the box? What's in the box? Well, you have your soundbar, but in addition, you also have 2 satellite speakers and a subwoofer. So I've actually got 4 pieces here. Then of course there's the remote, the cords, batteries, etc. The first thing I did is disconnected the old soundbar and power cord. However, I left the optical connector because I'm going to use that for the new one. On the new one, you can see the new power cord. You can see where it plugs in right there, and you can also see the optical port. So we can just use that existing cord, but this one did come with the new one as well, so now I've got a spare. Now both the power cord and the optical cable are connected at both ends. Into the soundbar here, optical into the TV here, and power cord back here. Both of them are out through a hole in the TV cabinet and then route out the front. The next step is to put the batteries in the remote. Next step is to turn the TV on. Turn on the soundbar, use the power button. You see the green light came on, so I know it's powered up now. I'm going to play the movie. I've got the speakers on my TV down to 0. Now I'm going to turn up the volume. So basically the TV input was the problem because it needed to know whether it was coming from the optical signal or one of the other signals. So most of yours will have an input button and you should cycle through that to make sure it's getting the right signal. Okay.
This is best lifestyle.
So now we have sound coming out the soundbar. That's step one. The subwoofer and satellite speakers came with this wireless adapter, and you can see the wireless adapter port on the far left. Wireless adapter in place. This is the bottom of the subwoofer, basically just a big speaker. The subwoofer is now plugged in. We've got an orange light here, so it's got power but no signal. Same with this speaker and with this one. On this particular unit, you've got a little connect button. So what you want to do is hold that down for 4 seconds. And then on the sub and the 2 satellite speakers, you'll also have it. So you want to hold this down for 4 seconds, and then it turns green. And some of the units will actually have an audio signal from the soundbar that'll say you're connected. So you do that for the sub, and then both of the satellites. And then you'll see the green dots in the soundbar showing that you're all connected. This system has a plus and minus, which basically controls the soundbar. It has a plus and minus for the bass to control the sub. And I guess if I turn up the bass,
Tona Beach for Biketoberfest this year.
and it has plus and minus for the surround sound. And I can hear it fine, and I can hear this one fine too. Now from my position here in bed, I want to be able to hear it from the front, and then I've got my 2 surround sound speakers equally spaced with my sub in that corner. So this should be a good spot to do that. Another option is to separate your surround sound speakers as front ones up in the far left and right. But I'm going to see if I get a little bit more of a surround sound effect by having them in the back. The back of the speakers just has a typical hanging hole. So all I need to do is put a screw in the wall. I can go in there and hang from. Easy enough, right? So take the stud finder. I'll save you all the tool man jokes. Okay, so right there it looks like there's a stud. It's gonna be pretty hard to see these marks, but I marked out the 2 ends of the stud, and then I marked a hole here that will basically allow the speaker to hang so the top of it is about flush with a lamp. I've used a hammer to start a screw into the sheetrock, and now I'll screw it in, not all the way. Need to allow a little bit of a gap so that the speaker can hang on it. There's just a little bit of a gap behind it, just enough to slip the speaker over it. Before I put the speaker on, I'm going to measure that distance from the floor, and so that I know how high to put the one on the other side. There's one. And there's the second. When you're done doing the installation and everything checks out, make sure you tuck all your cables in cleanly and you've got everything nice and lined up well. No trip hazards. And that's how you connect the soundbar or surround sound system to your TV. Enjoy.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel below and let's celebrate turning fuel and air into adrenaline.